First date ideas for men. I got this question in the comment section. Can you make a video on first date ideas for men? So that's what we're going to cover today. But before we kick it off, I'm Dave, and this channel is dedicated to giving you no BS, novel dating advice for the modern man. My three-part video series with the free PDF is in the description. Just click on the link and enter your email address, and I'll get that out to you immediately. So, first date ideas. Now, I guess you're probably going to expect me to identify a specific restaurant or a specific bar or some sort of a romantic sort of date location. But no, I'm not. I think you guys can figure that out for yourselves. What I'm going to cover is something that I haven't seen covered before, and I think it's pretty important, is it depends on you, which is more important. Now, firstly, how many dates are you getting? So, how many dates are you getting? How many different girls are you meeting? And how much money do you have? And also, how much time do you have? So, for instance, if you're a billionaire and you have 24 hours, 7 days a week to date, then you can do whatever you want every single day, as long as you have enough leads. If you have enough girls coming in, then you can pretty much do anything, and it doesn't take a rocket science to figure out, oh, okay, Google restaurant, go to restaurant, eat at restaurant. Or let's go do something really expensive that we can do together at lunchtime, and I'm sure there's a multitude of different things that you can do together that costs a lot of money. Let's get on a boat and go for a little cruise for lunchtime, right? Okay, so this is probably the most important thing to take into account. The vast majority of you guys out there are working Monday to Friday, 9 to 5. You're not overly wealthy, and you don't have 24/7 to date 7 to 14 girls per week, do you? So I would argue that you might be able to get in dinner dates after work, midweek, and on the weekend. You've got Friday, Saturday, and maybe Sunday as well, that you can have dates. So you need to take into account how many leads do you have. So for instance, if you are working Monday to Friday and you only have one lead, and you're just earning minimum wage, then that means that one date on the Friday or Saturday that you have lined up, you could take her out to a relatively good restaurant or bar and spend a bit of money, because the amount of money that you're spending is only going into one date, right? But what if you have two dates? Then you have to think, okay, well, let's maybe halve the amount of money I'm spending. You don't want to bankrupt yourself going out on dates with girls. I've heard of gamers that are having a lot of success, and they're having a lot of dates, getting to the point, and I don't recommend this, but if you are doing a 9 to 5 Monday to Friday, and you actually have a lot of skill, plus you're using all the tools at your disposal, so Monday to Friday you're still day gaming, on the weekend you're hitting the bars and the clubs, and you're getting leads there as well, and 7 days a week you're also using online dating and getting leads through there. I've known of guys that are having so much success that a lot of their dates are a walk in the park or a coffee at 7-Eleven, which I don't recommend you do. I'm just saying that when you have such an abundance and you're not a multi-millionaire and can spend you spend thousands of dollars a week on all of these dates, you need to figure out how much success, how many dates are you having, and how much money do you have to put into them. That's the trick here. We go back to you working Monday to Friday and you have one date, and just say your budget is like $200. You can take her out and sweep her off her feet if you only have one date. But then, if you have two dates, then I would say you've got $150 to spend, right? What if you have 3 dates that weekend? Be, you know, $75 to $100 you've got to spend on that date. You know, what if you got 4 or 5 or 6 dates? It would go down to maybe $25 to $50 per date. Then you're out of the expensive $30 a meal range, and you're working your way down to more the $15 a meal. You know, $15 each. You might need to buy a drink as well, and then after the date, take her out to a bar, maybe get a drink as well, something along those lines. And that's the basic thing that I think that you should be thinking about. And keep in mind that girls these days, they don't take dates very seriously. Some girls will actually go out on dates, especially on Tinder and online dating, if they're running out of money and they want to have a nice meal and they want to just use up some guy for what he's got, and she's got nothing else on that night. It's more common than you think. And so I'll take into account all of those factors, especially in first world countries. And understand that if you are out there spending a lot of money on dates, it doesn't mean that she likes you, and the more money you spend on these dates doesn't mean that you're going to have success and she's going to sleep with you or date you afterwards. Quite often it's the reverse, but there is a threshold, and I've taken girls out to places and I've bombed. I actually sat down with a girl once in a place where it was probably $15 a meal, and it was mid-range or in the lower end of the market. And she actually said to me, she said, "You're taking me here? Really? You're taking me here? What is this?" And so there is a threshold. There's a threshold of where you can take a girl. And if a girl was to tolerate you taking her for a 7-Eleven coffee and a walk in the park, I would question what type of girl you're taking out on a date. So there's a threshold of what how much you should be spending. It's called honest signals. So if you're showing some sort of honest signal that you are interested in her, then she's more likely to accept the date and see that you're serious with her. But still, on the flip side, it's game theory. Just because you've proven that you're interested in her and you're willing to spend money on the date, that doesn't mean that you are guaranteed to have any success with her. That doesn't mean that she's going to sleep with you or date you or even really take this honest signal seriously, because in first world countries they quite often don't. So you've got to understand that when you're taking a girl out, I think it is important to take her somewhere that you want to go, and take her to do something that you want to do, and that's something that you would want to do if she was there or she wasn't there. And you'd probably take one of your buddies there, a guy friend. And so therefore you get the enjoyment of the place regardless of the girl, and you take away the pressure of you actually locking her in or dating her, because more often than not, girls don't take dates seriously these days, and you need to think of strategies to protect yourself. And so hopefully that makes sense. Pick out some date locations that you want to go to, and don't spend too much or you might get burnt. Because I myself and a lot of my friends have been burnt, and what often happens is we go through a phase of taking girls to kind of cheap budget places, and then something happens where we decide to take a girl out to an expensive place, and then we get burnt, and she burns us bad. She ghosts us and doesn't even reply after the date. And you go, whoa, I spent all that money and I tried really hard, and she ghosted me. And then you learn the lesson, and then obviously the next couple dates or the next 6 months, you're back on track, and you do things that you're interested in and things that you want to do, and you avoid spending too much money hoping to get anything in return, because that is not guaranteed in any way, shape or form. And quite often it has the reverse effect. Actually, I've had dates where I went out on a date once with a girl, and she asked if she could invite a friend. She turned up late, And as soon as she sat down, she grabbed the menu, didn't even ask me about it, and started ordering the most expensive things on the menu and said, "Oh, is it okay if my friend comes to eat as well?" And she was literally just going to use me for dinner and then go out to take a friend, just them two, they were going out to a nightclub afterwards. So she was going to eat with me, get me to pay for her dinner and her friend's dinner, and then they're going to go out to bars and try meet guys. And I asked her, I said, hang on, before you order, are we going out together? She said, no, I'm just going out with my friends after this, not you. And I said, okay, see you later, piss off, get out of here, I'm not buying you dinner, piss off. And I think that takes a lot of experience to be able to identify that in the moment and not be chewed up. A lot of guys do get chewed up like that. And they just sit there, they're like, hang on, no one can have that little integrity and be that vicious and use someone blatantly to their face. But there's a lot of women in first world countries that will do that. And they just see you as a commodity that can be chewed up and spat out. And I think identifying it fast and early and being willing to walk away is one of your most powerful attributes. So I would take into account how much time you have, take girls out on dates that you enjoy, also take into account how many dates that you have in any period of time based on how much money you have to spend, and divvy it up. Whatever your budget is, divvy it up. And if you've only got one date that weekend, you could probably spend a little bit more money, but also be very careful that she might use you. And so be very careful of that. And be willing to walk away and look for those bad signs before the dinner, because you're better off just going and spending that money on yourself instead of having a girl chew you up and then just use you, because that's going to feel worse for you later on. And so that's the optimum strategy. And if you get to the point where you have so many dates coming in, you are taking girls for $1 coffee and a walk in the park, then you've hit the elite level where you have abundance of dates, and you're using the scattergun approach, where you're just getting so much in and something's going to fall in your lap, and some of them are going to come through, most of them are not going to come through. They're going to see that you're not really that serious by taking them for a walk in the park, but some will actually come through and you will be successful just playing that en masse numbers game. And so hopefully this video has been helpful to you guys, and this is just from my personal experience and through years of having lots of friends that are very successful in game, and also recently coaching as well. So hopefully that made sense to you guys. Make sure that you get the three-part video series and the free PDF, and subscribe to the channel. And I'll see you guys in the next video.